You ever find yourself watching the stream going, how's this man stay looking so good? I work out. Oh yeah, we've got a great workout regimen here at RD Media. And if you would like to find out how to become as nice looking and nice workout as a content creator, all you gotta do, sign up now. 15 easy payments of $99.99 and you'll find out exactly how we use pedal bikes under desk, weightlifting with our arms, and staying hydrated.
Wow, that's awesome.
Stay tuned for the rest of the infomercial. Actually, we're talking about the Burrell today, but I love y'all anyway, and I'm weird, so let's roll it.
Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where today we're doing another crewing video where we're taking the ship that you asked us to crew and we're doing the Burrell this time. Now this was a really close one. If you're not familiar with the format that we use the comment section down below. So like right down there, YouTube, Facebook, Discord, and we get an idea of what ship you'd like us to see do next. Now this one was very close between the Burrell and the Centurion. We ended up going with the Burrell here, but if you're one of the Centurion fanboys, fangirls, etc., let me know. It could be the next ship that we cover. And we've been doing at least one of these a week, maybe even two of these, depending on if it's really wanted. So let's start talking about this beautiful bird of prey, because the Klingons understood there's no more dangerous creature in all the galaxy than the mighty goose. Mess with the honk, you get the bonk. That's what we're doing today. We're going to show you how to give out the bonks with this wonderful girl. And we're starting with these loadouts right here. Now, some of this will be similar to what you've seen on the Enterprise, and I'll admit, my own problem has been saying, look, don't get this if you want the Enterprise because the Enterprise is considered so good. But with so many new updates in the game, with attack mechanic updates, new ships, new options when it comes to path to take, and then also just a standard resources are now becoming more available, even uncommons. No, not 50,000, but still uncommons are more plentiful now than they were a couple years ago. You are seeing more of these birds take flight, especially on newer servers. So we need to talk about how to crew them. And and back in the day, I was using my Burrell to defeat Augurs and Enterprises because it has a great firing pattern. It's a very strong explorer, and it works really well in combat. So we're going to start with these right here. We're going to start with some generic loadouts for PvP. We'll mention PvE at the end of the video, but that basically covers everything anyway. And then, of course, we'll just give you a brief little look at, very common Armada loadouts, but you can use, say, this in Armadas right now. So our generalized crew number one is going to be TOS Kirk, TOS Uhura, and Khan. I love new crews that let you hit multiple layers of the battle log at once. So remember, when you make a shot, you have 3 layers you get through. Phase 1 is mitigation. Phase 2 is shields, and then phase 3 is the hull. That's the one that you actually create damage with or deal damage with. So if we can affect those first couple layers of combat, or any of the layers, that is going to be advantageous to us. And if we can do multiple, that's generally the best idea. So what you're getting here with the captain's ability is a damage boost based on the defense of the officers on the ship. Now, I don't have this Burrell loaded out defense because I actually just hot swapped it with another ship so we could just look at crews, but let's just say my attack number at 10,000. So if we're using 100% of that 10,000, we will be boosting that onto our weapons in terms of their total damage output. And it is a nice little increase. It's not insanely high, but it does have an impact, especially when you talk about using Khan, who is a damage boost based on creating criticals. Criticals are going to give you, 180, 200, 300, depending on where your research and stuff is for that cumulative damage bonus. So we've got 2 damage modifiers, which I would say is, your phase 3 of that battle. And then we also have a phase 2 right here with TOS Uhura. So what she's going to do is remove 12% of the shield mitigation. I've got mine ranked up a little bit, but what she's doing is that phase 2, similar to how Harrison works, bypassing some of those shields to hit directly to the hull. So it's also very good. This could be a good crew for fighting your Enterprise. It's not peak good crew, but it is good for fighting the Enterprise because you're going to bypass the fact that the Enterprise's shields always stay up. So this is a good one to take on some low-level Enterprises and try to make some headway if you've got a decently tiered Burrell. And this is just one crew. So we're going to look at another generalized crew, and we're going to throw Spock up here because Spock's a man. Now, I've got Kirk over here. We'll go ahead and drag him, and then I'll cancel it here. But this is another go-to that you'll have access to earlier on. So maybe you didn't get the TOS Kirk, TOS Uhura combo when it was out back in January, February. That's fine. You can still run Kirk Spock Con. Now, while I talk about this being a generic loadout, and I'm not a super fan of it in Armadas because it gets so overused, it is a good PvP loadout for general use. And now that we have the TOS crew, if your Burrell is your secondary ship, so you've got a D4 or an Augur, and your secondary PvP ship is the Burrell, well, here you go, a good crew to throw out on it. So you've got Kirk, who's going to give you morale, which is then going to let you use Spock. So Spock's going to keep your shields up, which means that unless you've got a Harrison or a TOS or Uhura situation, that you're getting a 80% stop of any remaining damage after mitigation, because that's what phase 2 does. Shields will stop 80% of the remaining damage that isn't mitigated. So that helps you survive longer, stay bigger, and then of course con for your generic, just we're trying to get to the critical so we can deal more damage, which hopefully will just beat them into submission.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
And because the firing pattern of the Burrell goes 2, 4, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2, 4, you actually have a lot of shots for a low 30 ship. And it deals a pretty nice amount of damage because it splits between kinetic and energy. And there's some good punch there where you don't necessarily get that in some of the other ships. But those are two generic loadouts that you can run that you will find some good success with. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of other ones. And some of these get a little bit specific, so bear with. But if we back out real quick and we'll reload, I don't, because I've got away mission. So like Yuki needs to go here. But I can't because Yuki's out on a away mission. So you'll just have to bear with me, or maybe I'll put it on the screen. But let's say we're fighting Augurs. You know, if we're talking about fighting those big baddies, let's do it with an Augur. We're going to do first with Yuki as captain. Yuki as captain. Now, why are we doing Yuki as captain? For the shield strip and the anti-Romulan buff. Remember that Yuki works against Romulans. So mine is tier 4. So I've got a 175% bonus in terms of boosting my damage versus Romulans based on the health of the crew. Now, even if you've got a tier 1 Yuki, one great thing about Yuki is she is good immediately in the game. Doesn't matter what tier, she's good right out the gate. So pairing her Yuki, Sharvanik, if your Sharvanik is hopefully 800% or higher, and then Khan. Now, if you don't have that, you know, you could just run a Marcus and not worry about where your Marcus is at, because Yuki and Marcus combined is a 15% shield strip of the Augur. Now, the Augur gets stronger the longer the battle goes. You want to get it done quickly. So running Yuki Marcus Khan is a little, you know, anti-Augur run that doesn't typically take up any officers that you're using on other PvP bows and can deal a lot of damage. Also can run a Kirk Spock Sharvanik run. So Sharvanik, I am pretty sure, is also on an away mission. Oh, she's right here. So I'll actually show you this one on the screen. So let's do Kirk Spock and then Sharvanik. So we're going to mix this back up. So what we're doing here is keeping the shields up, and then Sharvanik is increasing our phase 1, that mitigation. So now we're actually pushing more damage to the shields into the hull by bypassing phase 1, and she's doing that based off of health. I like that, except the only drawback is Spock works on defense. And now you're having to stack 2 below decks, but it is a really useful one for keeping your shields alive, which means you're taking less damage and you can deal more damage to that Augur. So let's just wax out of this one so we can get into a couple of other ones because I want to fly through. So let's say you're fighting interceptors, such as, you know, the Saladin, even Gladiuses, even D4s. There's several different crews that we can run. Once again, we kind of have some people away on an away mission, but we can just talk through them. Kang is going to be important here because of Kang's ability boosting accuracy. Now, mine's only rank 3, 400%, which you can use 400 and 800% officers. Obviously, you want the 1600%, the max. And we talk about using transporter patterns to get there all the time. But Kang is useful on this loadout for going against interceptors. I would say 5 Kang Khan is a really good one. 5 of 10 is captain. Kang on the side, and then Khan on the side. So you're getting 5 of 10, boosting your phase 1, so boosting your mitigation, making it harder to put damage on your ship. Number 2, you're getting Kang, which is taking down their mitigation, making it easier for you to damage their ship. And then Khan, of course, for the pure damage buff with criticals. That's not the only one, though. Yuki, Marcus, Khan. We're doing that Yuki-Marcus combo again to strip shields. Get those shields down, deal damage. That's what Khan's for. And then another one is the helmet crew. Now, the helmet crew are kind of a love-hate relationship for me. So you see, like, you got Krell here, and I'll put Krell up here just so we can see. So we do them by group. I've got Mara, and then Kang. So if I put Mara as captain and then Krell on the side, this is going to go generally just against Saladins, but then Kang up here on the top right where Khan is, and that running that full set, what that is going to give you is a bonus to your weapons damage with interceptors for Mara, and then you're going to get the boost for Federation based on Krell, and then the accuracy bonus. Now you can run Kang as captain for the Dahar Master, but this hull breach doesn't work that well to take advantage of Mara's hull breach ability, which is decreasing dodge. So a lot of people will run Mara as captain in the helmet crew. If you really want to take advantage of that secondary, you would run something like a Gorkon or a Lorca. But that's another crew that you can run to take on those interceptors. And finally, talking about just taking on enterprises. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love doing this early on with this. So you can start with several different loadouts. You can go pure damage. So for example, if you got a max Merrick, Merrick is more powerful than Khan is versus an Enterprise, because a Merrick is going to give you a 500% damage boost. Khan's only giving you whatever your critical multiplier is. So Merrick is stronger there. Now you can also run Kirk Spock Merrick. So we were talking about running generic loadouts before. Well, Kirk Spock Merrick is something that everybody should have. Just about everybody should have one fighting an Enterprise, Kirk Spock Merrick. And I love that it's called the Enterprise crew, because this is the anti-Enterprise crew. Kirk Spock Merrick on a Burrell. So you're keeping your shields up. Remember, Enterprises don't deal a ton of damage. And then you're bypassing that right here with Merrick. Now you can also use that TOS Kirk, TOS Uhura, and Spock that we talked about as a general. You can use that against that. And this is only one. We also, if we have a Marcus, I love using Kirk Spock Marcus. Now Marcus is that same anti-faction card we talk about. Now he's got to be leveled up a little bit. 800% preferred when going against, but 400% will work. I think my Marcus is, where is my Marcus? Marcus, where are you? I don't know. Oh, he's out on a mission, of course. So he would go right there. Kirk Spock Marcus to then give you another type of anti-Enterprise using that same idea we talked about earlier, keeping your shields up and mitigation. Now, the Merrick one is my favorite if it's max, because a 500% is quite significant. You can also go Marcus as captain on the Burrell with Merrick and Krell. So you'd have 500%, 500%, and they stack, and then Marcus in the middle is giving you that mitigation bonus. That's probably my favorite anti-Enterprise run, but it really, you need those Marcus or that Merrick and Krell to be high level. But we did a lot of crews in this one. A lot of crews. And PvE is quite simple, everybody. Pike, Moreau, Chin. Pike, Moreau, Talon. Or Picard, Beverly, Talon. Picard, Beverly, Chin. It's that simple. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button. Looks like this. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Join the channel if you want to support financially, or check out the PayPal, Venmo, etc. to help make wonderful videos like this happen. Also join the Discord because I act goofy there too, and we stream a little bit. So live long and prosper. Stay safe out there, Space Cowboys. We'll catch you on the next one. Probably. Bye.
An even better outro than the intro. Yeah! Woo!